Hi everybody, Elke here. Thank you for joining me today. The topic is going to be how to level up your books. So what I'm going to do is share with you some tips that I have either already started to incorporate or that I'm going to be incorporating. And rather than have you wait until I've kind of after the fact, I wanted to give you guys, for those of you who have books out there already, an opportunity to get these tips for yourself as soon as possible. So first tip with leveling up your book is to look at your keywords and your categories that your books are in on whatever site they are. And I'm not sure, every site's slightly different, but I know like on Amazon, they're constantly changing, so it's always a good idea at least once a year. And I really talked about this more in another video, and I'll leave the link for that in the comments so that you can check out that video for yourself. But it's really a good idea to review what your categories and your keywords are to make sure that they're still relevant. Sometimes just making that slight change can really make a difference as far as your visibility as well as sales. I know it does for me. The other tip is your book description, and that's a key, huge one. And I talked about this in another video as well too, and I'll share the link where I go into a lot of detail about changing your book description. And the reason for that is Amazon is always changing how readers are looking for information, as well as the readers are looking for that information, and also Amazon and what they show and what they're putting out there. And sort of what is selling and what is getting more visibility is not the same as it was even 6 months ago. So that's really important to make sure that your book description is that you're looking at it and updating it so that you're staying up with the times of what's happening. And let me just specify, that should be what's going on in your genre, not just in general, because each genre tends to be slightly different. So it's really important to check out the books in your genre that are doing really well to see how they're doing it, to see how you can put that onto your book. Next thing you want to look at is your back matter. And what that looks like, especially if you have more than one book, is when you released your first book, obviously you didn't have any other books, so there was really nothing in your back matter of your book other than probably, here's my website or sign up for my newsletter. However, if you're 3 books in, it's a good idea to update your back matter on your book, because this allows you to promote your other books. And if you have links set up so that if they click on the link after they finish reading the current book that takes them to your next book, then that's a really important thing to keep up to date as well too, if you have, as I said, more than one book. Another strategy that you can use is looking at updating the content that you're using to promote your books. If you're using sort of the same old thing, the same old way that you've always used or that you've been using for the last year, then I really recommend looking at some of the other authors in your genre, checking out their social media pages and seeing what they're doing to, promote their book, get people engaged. That's another great way not only to find new readers, but to get ideas on different and new ways to promote your book. Because even though, you may not feel comfortable doing reels, there's other really neat and interesting posts that people are doing with images, with content. So it's always a good idea to sort of check that out. That is a good way to get some visibility, a good way to attract new readers, as well as a really good way to engage your current readers, especially if you have time in between each books and you want to re-engage them, whether it's for a new book or your current books. Another thing you can look at doing is, if you have like 3 or 4 books in a series, is creating a box set. Now, some people are sort of still like, oh, box sets are, they're no longer in, they're not happening. It really depends. I think it's all about how you do it. Now, I haven't personally done a box set myself, just because I still plan to write another book in my series. But I know a lot of authors who have utilized that option, and it's worked really well for them. It's really about how you launch it, how you promote it, and how you do it strategically. That's really what it's all about. Another strategy for leveling up your books is to redo your book covers. Now, this is something I'm looking at doing myself as far as redoing the book covers, the book description, the back matter, the keywords, all of those things, and in a sense, relaunching the book. Because let's face it, just like with book descriptions, book covers and what audiences like and don't like changes, especially in a specific genre. So I really recommend looking at the books in your genre and sort of seeing what other authors are doing as far as what book covers they're using. And I'm not saying that to copy what they're doing, because like I've had people tell me all the time, put half-naked men on your covers. And I'm like, that's just not, that might be something that I might do in the future. I never say never. However, right now I've seen other writers that are doing really well with selling their books without putting half-naked guys on their covers. So that is something that I feel more comfortable with, going in that direction rather than the half-naked guys on my covers. So, but at the same time, there's different ways that you can look at different options as far as your book covers. That is a good way, especially if it's a book that's been out, 5 years or more, then I recommend looking at changing your book cover and making it more up to date to what readers are looking for. That's a really great way to get some more eyes on your book, as well as to attract possibly new readers. And it's great for a new way to promote your book without looking like you're promoting the same book because it's got a different cover. So there's all these different little strategies that I know authors who update their book cover every couple of years. Now that can get expensive, but if you do your own designing, then maybe that'll work for you. Or if you are able to buy book covers or whatever you do with your covers, or looking at more affordable ways to be able to get your book covers to make that feasible for you. Another thing that I recommend is, and this is something that I am personally working on myself, and this is creating a long-term promotional strategy as far as how to attract new readers, how to engage my current readers that are either on my list or on my social media, and just sort of a long-term strategy as far as how am I going to attract new readers, get them in my funnel, get them buying books, keep them engaged, all those different things. Because a lot of times we just focus on, okay, I'm launching this book, here it is, and then maybe for a few weeks or a month afterwards, and then that's sort of it. Then we're maybe working on the next book, but there's months where, we aren't engaging, we aren't still trying to get new readers on our list because we're like, well, I don't have anything new. But this is where a reader magnet can come in handy. And that's one of the things that I have as part of my long-term strategy. And not just having the reader magnet, but also just using it. Because I've had one for forever, but I'm really not utilizing it to attract new people on my list and continue to grow my list and get people going through a funnel so that when they buy the book, there's a series of emails that promotes the other books that I have to get them buying not just the first book, but the second and the third and all the books that I currently have, and then keeping them engaged so that when I do have a new book, that I've got somebody who's already a fan and I'm not trying to sell to somebody who's cold. So that is kind of my long-term strategy. Now, if you're not sure what a reader magnet is, I will share a link to a video that I did that dives more into what a reader magnet is and how it really helps you as an author. So you can check that out for yourself. And that is the strategies that I have for you for today. I hope you found them really helpful. If you have a strategy that you've used that has worked really well for you to help you level up your books and get more eyes on your books and attract more readers, I'd love for you to share it in the comments so that others can see, and hopefully it's something that they can use that will work for them. So thank you guys so much for joining me, and I will see you in the next video. Please make sure to subscribe and like this video. Thank you so much. See you then.